where I do begins to bloom, from first yes to forever. This is the Greater Garden Route Wedding Expo podcast. Your love story starts here.
Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of the Greater Garden Route Wedding Expo podcast. We are privileged today to be joined by Wim from Weddings Without Boundaries. Ek het dit reg gesê nou? Ja. En Wim, I think start off by introducing yourself and maybe give us a little bit of a background to what you do. I mean, myself and Adi, we just said we've done so many weddings over the years where you were the officiant, but I think maybe not to like to quote someone I know very well, but in your own words, maybe tell us who you are, what you do, and what makes your service different than I want to say quite a few other officiants.
Thanks, Rechanini. It's a privilege for me to be here, and thank you for inviting me to take part. I'm Wim from Weddings Without Boundaries, as you've already heard, based in Newtonegg, but travel South Africa, across South Africa. I've been right up to Hoedspruit, to, I don't know, Western Cape, since all over. Wherever they want me, they get me. But generally based in the Eastern Cape. Weddings Without Boundaries says what it is. I do everything within reason. It's not my day, it's the couple's day, so I don't prescribe. It's their day, and we sit together and we put something together for them, and they must enjoy what I'm doing. My ceremonies are never long. I don't believe, I don't believe in stiff and formal. I like things to be laid back and informal and just lekker, because that's, I think, what the people need.
Totally.
And obviously I do both religious and non-religious ceremonies. I do, as I say, anything. I've had Jewish girls marry Christian boys, and it's been a combination of the two.
Wow.
Religions, yeah.
Because I believe they both have very, very strong traditions. And it's not that we're belittling any of the traditions, but I think it's good that we're able to combine both religions into one. I spoke to a couple yesterday, and the father, she's Jewish, and the father was there. I think they were quite surprised how you can mix the two.
Yes.
But obviously we have all sorts of other thingies. But mainly, my weddings are for people who are not necessarily church people. There's a big market for that. So that's what I do. And as I say, I customize my ceremonies. Every ceremony is different because I don't want to sound boring. And if you do a thing over and over and over the same thing, people begin to hear this boredom in your voice, and that's not what I want. So I spend a lot of time on my ceremonies, preparing. And now with AI, I have the most incredible personal ceremonies for my couples, which is amazing. So that basically is what I offer. And as I say, anyway, if you pay for me to get there, I'll be there.
Well, everything that you just said, we, as Richard said, we are fortunate to have experienced a couple of your weddings, and it is really not just saying this is not just a selling point. I've witnessed it myself, and I just told you just before we started recording, it's always so nice when you do a ceremony, when you officiate, it is always a personalized message. It's always been that way. I've always enjoyed it. It makes a wedding for me personally more special. When we do a wedding video, it's so nice when the message is individualized, because you do get bored of
unfortunately
weddings, shooting weddings as a photographer. You obviously hear a lot of ceremonies, a lot of what do you call it? Die boodskap, the message, okay? And it's often the same message.
Yeah.
So it is very nice and refreshing
And
to
I mean,
always hear a ceremony from you because it's customized.
and it's not only from our perspective. I mean, if you think from the guest perspective, they also attend multiple weddings.
Yes.
So they often end up also hearing the same message over and over again. But I mean, what you just said now of a couple, I can't remember what you said, Jewish and Christian. I think it's probably for many couples that come from different backgrounds or maybe from different countries nowadays, with people traveling all over the world, working all over, different cultures, different customs, different religions. I think it can be a very tender aspect of the day.
Very sensitive.
And I think being able to bring that together and merging that in a way that you honor both sides, I think is a very unique perspective that you offer. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, you know, obviously, and I suppose this is, I don't know if it's just me, but obviously there's research that I need to do. You know, it's not just a thing that's aan mekaar geplak and
Yeah,
that's
no.
it.
Yes.
Obviously I research because I think, as I said, tradition is important, and they're both, well, Christian, Jewish, we're talking about now, both have particularly strong traditions. And as I said, I don't want to belittle. I don't want the couple or whoever is the Jew or the Christian want to think, you know what, we're making it all wishy-washy.
Yes, I hear.
To me, it's important that we keep the tradition. And obviously, in all of that comes an explanation of what it is that we're doing different, because not everybody understands the chuppah or the 7 circles around the wine glass or the breaking of the glass even.
Yes.
So yeah, I do a lot of research. As I say, I do a lot of work on my ceremonies because it's a special day.
Yeah.
You know,
it
you
is.
can't just pluck something together and think it's going to work. And I just wanted to say something also. I get a lot of requests for non-religious ceremonies, and I get a lot of requests also for religious, obviously Christian. But you know what? I don't preach. It's not a Sunday church service. It's a wedding, and for me, the couple are the sermon. So apart from the legal stuff, which I have to do, my ceremonies, my religious ceremonies are, can I say, limited in a sense. There'll be a prayer, obviously. There'll be a Bible reading. There'll be a blessing on the rings. And then maybe a longer prayer at the end for the couple. And that's it. You know, the people are there to party, huh?
Yep.
They're not there to listen to some uitgerekte thing about what the Bible says.
It's not Sunday.
It's not Sunday church.
It might be
It's
Sunday for the wedding, but
Yeah,
it's not church.
It's not a Sunday
Yeah.
sermon.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
a sermon.
not a
yeah.
Sunday sermon.
This
So
is a wedding ceremony.
So I don't preach. So my ceremonies are fairly short, as I said, informal. I try and keep them short because we all have a suspension, a concentration span, what do they say, 20 minutes? So, like I said, I'm not there to bore the people, and also they're there for the party. They're probably never going to remember what the ceremony had to say. But something else I've done, and I'm starting to do now, is I send my couples, when I send them the registration papers, a copy of the registration papers, I send them a copy of the ceremony.
That is
Because
very nice.
Because to me it's special, and I spend a lot of time doing it, so why not give them a copy for something to have for whenever.
That is such a nice idea. I design the wedding albums. I would so love to have the entire sermon on paper
as a background.
one of the backgrounds, or just about the last page,
Yeah.
or the first page, or the center page. It is such an important message. It is a very nice idea. Is there any groundwork that you do with the clients beforehand? Do you see them before? Because a lot of your weddings are outside of where you live.
Yeah, I think it's always good to meet with a couple. Obviously, like you say, there's some instances where we can't, and I haven't had so many lately. But there have been instances where I come from PE and say we're doing Tsitsikamma somewhere, and the couple flies in via Cape Town, so we don't meet
There's not a
before
chance,
the time.
yeah.
But then we do it virtual.
Okay.
So I think it's good that I meet with my couple before the time. It's good to make that connection. Otherwise, it's you kind of arrive and it's the first time you see them. it's happened, but it's not for now, I don't have many of those anymore, thankfully.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it's not a face-to-face meeting, it's definitely virtual, either WhatsApp video or Zoom or whatever. But I think it is important that we all know who's on the same page, or we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Also, something that I get sometimes, which I have now coming up on Saturday, is when the couples get someone to do the ceremony and they are not registered to register the wedding.
Okay. To
And
be an
then they
officiant.
ask me to be the legal representative kind of thing. So I do the legal paperwork, and then the friend or whoever it is does the ceremony.
Okay.
And for me, you know, when you have two people combining during a ceremony, it kind of jars the flow of the ceremony. So I like to keep it separate. You know, do the legal paperwork before the time, get all the stuff out of the way, and then it leaves whoever it is who's doing their ceremony to do the ceremony. But some people don't like that. They want the paperwork to be done at
on the day.
Ceremony.
Yeah.
So there are certain legal things that I have to do, which is obviously the legal question and also the intention to marry one another. And then, maybe unfortunately, I must pronounce the couple married.
Okay, so someone else can't do that.
Not the person that's.
You know, no. So they can do it if it's separate.
Yeah, then
anybody
yes,
can do it.
yes.
But if I'm the legal representative at the wedding, just something that I have to do. I think sometimes it upsets the bride. But that it is what it is. So and I think, you know, I'm a little bit OCD, but I'm not kind of stiff and stuck up. So if they insist, then maybe I can give it kind of a leeway and say, yeah, I'm going to do it.
You can do it afterwards, just to confirm it.
Yeah.
Did last year's wedding expo, the Greater Garden Route Wedding Expo, did it give you? Do you feel that it gave you a little bit more exposure? How was your experience?
Or specifically more towards this area, more towards the Kaap.
How was your experience? And are you planning to join us again?
I think any exposure anywhere is good. I'd like to attend the expos if I'm available. I've done a couple in East London. It's just that East London, the travelling is what makes it expensive. Yeah. So anything local, particularly now that Port Elizabeth has kind of lost their big expo. I enjoy the expos because not only does it give me an opportunity to network with fellow service providers, which I think is important.
Very important job.
No, I think, and maybe I'm saying too much here, but I think a lot of service providers in a particular industry think we're in competition, and we're not.
Yes.
We're not in competition. We're all service providers providing a service to the wedding industry, and we need to work together. Even marriage officers, even photographers.
Yes. Exactly.
I mean, if we can't get on as fellow service providers, then I think there's a little bit of a problem. But yeah, I enjoy not just networking with service providers, but also meeting new people and exposing a little bit of what I have to offer. And now I'm definitely coming back.
That's good to hear.
I think I am. I think I do have the dates. So
29th and 30th of August.
Yeah, I think I've marked it in my diary.
I'm very glad.
So I'll be, I'll be back.
I'll be back.
There's an interesting thing that I think you touched on a little bit in terms of your consultation with clients beforehand. Oftentimes we get asked to help with a timeline for the day. And I think purely from an experience point of view, because we've done so many weddings, I always say to clients, if I send something, I tell them it's a draft. I always want to make it very clear that I'm not trying to plan their wedding day for them. And I think even if I have a formal wedding planner, the planner should say the same thing. But the point I want to get to is, oftentimes, especially when you start going into winter months, you've got less time in the afternoon for the photos. And we're not saying a wedding is all about the photos, but I often would tell them, speak to your officiant and discuss the length of the ceremony. And it's frightening how many couples are actually afraid even ask the officiant, you know,
If
to
they
keep
are
the ceremony
allowed.
short. And I mean, I think from your perspective, if what you've said so far and what I've seen in practice, you totally open. If a client tells you we've got 20 minutes to do the ceremony, or we've got 30 minutes, or we've got 15 minutes, it's something that you work around, because at the end of the day, it's the client's, it's the couple's day, it's their wedding day. So just your thought on that. I mean,
Rick, you know what? So I've had brides say to me 20 minutes. And I was like, 20 minutes, really? You know, it's an important day. But if you want 20 minutes, you get 20 minutes, but you're going to have nothing of your ceremony. You know, then it's just the legal stuff, basically.
yeah.
I always say to my brides, particularly, timelines. You know, they always think they're going to be there on time. And I say to them, look, you're not going to be there on time because you're not in control.
Yeah.
You've got your hair to do, you've got your makeup to do, you've got to get into the dress. Someone's got to bring you. I had one bride, I can't remember exactly at the time, but she said to me, you will be there at 3:25. And I said, yes. And you? She said, no, I will be on time. I said, we'll see. So, yeah, you know what, I get a little bit frightened with timelines, because I think then they stress about the time and they don't enjoy what they're supposed to be doing. So if the bride is late, obviously not too late, there is leeway. I have a 35-minute, what can I call it, penalty. I have never yet, although it's been very, very near, to walk away from a ceremony because somebody was late, very late. You know, it's different to a parish situation where the parish priest is marrying the couple and they're in the parish and there's nothing else for him to do.
Yes.
In today's world, where marriage officers are not necessarily parish bound or area bound, I have sometimes more than one ceremony per day and sometimes more than two, which is not often, but it happens. Brides are very difficult sometimes. And when I run out of time to get to the next ceremony, I can't be late because this one was late. But it hasn't happened yet, touch wood. But, you know, they also need to realize that their timeline also affects everybody in the whole setup of the day. I mean, I had one particular bride the hairdresser was half an hour late in the beginning. And that has a ripple effect on everything that comes after that. And so, yeah, maybe a timeline is important, but don't be finicky about every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't think you can plan it to a T.
You can't.
We always say, and we always build in, if we help with a timeline, we always build in sufficient parts in the afternoon where if something happens, you can easily just collapse that part into something else.
Extra time.
But I do think the important thing is there needs to be some planning on the day, definitely. Otherwise, no one's going to know what time to be there. But I think the most important, from your perspective, you work with clients to make their day work.
Yeah.
That's I think that's what's important.
Yeah, I think also what's nice for me, I don't get bridezillas, because they kind of leave me alone to do my thing.
So it should
Obviously, I chat with them to find out what they want and how they're going to do it and what's going to happen, and how many bridesmaids and groomsmen are in the procession and how long that's going to take and that kind of thing, which I think is important. That, as I said, everybody's on the same page. But thankfully, I'm kind of left to do my own thing, which is nice in a way. But as I say, I do consult at least once with a couple, and then I try and fit in to what they want. And I say to them also, if you're late, then unfortunately I have to shorten my ceremony.
Yeah.
Which is sad because I do a lot of work on it. But that's how it is. You know, I need to move on if there is another ceremony after this. So it's a little bit difficult
a challenging
sometimes.
situation,
But you know, they have to be aware that it's not only their wedding.
Exactly. There's a lot of factors. There's a lot of things that get factored in when you are running late.
That's right.
Everything is influenced by it. I mean, not. I'm just thinking about the venue and the food. I mean, no one will say the makeup artist or the hairdresser made the bride late. This is why we're sitting here with dry food. I mean, that is the result of someone not being on schedule, and how it can influence the entire day. And you can be late because of the hairdresser.
Yeah.
That's right.
It can start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start.
At the beginning.
I'm almost.
From your perspective, what advice would you give? Not even just specific to the ceremony, but I mean, you've also done hundreds and hundreds of weddings, and you obviously observe a lot of things happening on the day. We often find that couples or brides would sort of zone in on one thing on the day and maybe make it over important. If you had to give any general advice, what would you say to a bride planning a wedding? What's important to a couple? I know I say bride, but I mean, I think we've all learned that in 90% of the cases, it's 90% the bride and 10% the groom that's involved in the planning. We've had the reverse, where it's 90% the groom planning and 10% the bride.
It's not always a bride and a groom. There's sometimes a groom and a groom, and there's
and
sometimes a bride and a bride.
Yeah.
So to the couple.
To the couple.
Yeah, just generally, I mean, you've said already planning, but I find sometimes that they kind of forget the marriage officer.
Until the last minute.
Sometimes I get the impression that they don't realize that without the marriage officer, there's no marriage.
There's no wedding.
It's not a wedding.
I mean, I've had brides phone me a week before the time and say, oops, I haven't got a marriage officer. I mean, it's nice to have the venue and the dress and that. And they kind of forget about who needs to do the wedding. And obviously, because it's not the Paris situation, I am not always available. And then it's a bigger stress factor, because now who do you get now to do the ceremony? So I would suggest, and I find it not that I'm looking for recognition, but I find a lot also when people post, particularly on Facebook, they list everybody, photographer, dress, catering,
Not the efficient.
but they never mention the efficient. It's sad, but anyway,
I hear what you say.
And like you say, you in a big sense, the most important part, because without you,
it's the glue.
That's right. Without the legal bit, there's no wedding.
they're not married.
So I would say to them, plan properly, and don't wait too long. I mean, I've had 2 weeks, 1 week before the time.
That's very short notice.
Time catches up quickly.
Yeah.
And if you
Especially
don't
when you're planning a wedding.
Okay, obviously we do get some brides who 2 years ahead of time already know what they're doing, but it takes people power, and you can't do things last minute.
Especially not for an individualized message. You have to know the couple. You have to know somewhat of them, of their relationship, of who they are.
It's not just the message. It's also the paperwork. I mean, I've had couples phone me the day before and say, we're getting married tomorrow, or can we get married today? And I say, no, I need paperwork. You need to get stuff from Home Affairs.
Okay.
You need to get stuff from your lawyer. You need to get stuff from wherever.
Yeah, there's a lot of
and I can't do it
red tape
today. Tomorrow, maybe, if I get everything today.
Yeah, but you need stuff.
So they don't seem to know, and obviously, they got to go to Home. They got to go to Home Affairs to do the verification, which is a new thing. So there's things to do before the wedding can take place, and I don't think many of them realize exactly what is involved until they speak to me or they know what's needed. Because when they apply, they get a whole list of what I need, and it's not just one or two things.
Is there a list that you mind sharing
No.
Or, what is it? I mean, it's been 26 years since you did everything.
And those years it was also simpler. I mean, it
Yeah.
was very few things that you had to your IDs and maybe your pre-wedding, what do you call it, huweliksvoorwaarde contract.
No, the contract needs to be done. I need copies of their IDs, copies of their witnesses' IDs. I need, if they've been previously married, a copy of the divorce decree or the death certificate of the former spouse. I need 3 photographs of each of them for the register. They need to do the verification of marital status with Home Affairs, which Home Affairs needs to verify that they're currently not
married.
Okay.
So those are, for South Africans, a fairly easy list of stuff to get.
Okay.
When there's an international person involved, it gets a little bit more tricky because then they need to go for interview with Home Affairs. It's called an immigration verification interview, which they need to do, and Home Affairs being Home Affairs, that process can sometimes take 3 weeks. And couples fly in for a weekend wedding in the game park
a few days before,
and they don't realize that it takes 3 weeks for Home Affairs to process the interview.
I hear what you say.
And I can't register the marriage until I've had the interview report submitted to UTNAC. So everything takes time. It's not that I can't do the ceremony, but I can't register the marriage until the report has been done. So I don't think couples realize what is needed.
That is exactly.
It's not just a pretty dress or pretty flowers or a cake or a thing that's there. There's stuff.
There's legal process.
There's stuff that needs to be done before the time.
Okay, well, I must say I also learned.
And the verification, how long can that be done fairly quickly, or is
the verification can be done now? It's kind of, I think Home Affairs have now got used to it.
Okay.
So it can be done within half an hour. Okay. I know some couples have in the past taken a day off to go to Home Affairs to do the verification.
Yeah.
They don't need to. I don't know if I can mention particular Home Affairs. Home Affairs P is now moved to Bay West, which is a godsend because it's quieter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's kind of more efficient.
Okay.
But it doesn't take away from anywhere else. UTNAG can be equally quick. The verification doesn't take long normally. I've had people in the beginning 3 hours. Now they do it in 15 minutes.
Okay.
So it's not a long stretched out thing. It's just something that needs to be done. And sadly, the Home Affairs won't register their marriage until they have the verification. So.
And out of interest, I mean, I know Home Affairs have got facilities where in certain banks you can apply for things. Can you, for instance, do that there, or don't you know?
I don't know. Verification, sometimes they need fingerprints, which they can only do at Home Affairs. And it's on their system. I don't know how much of the system they share with other institutions. But it kind of says you're divorced or you're widowed or whatever that is on the system, which then gets put on the form, which they then submit to me, and I then give it back to Home Affairs.
Okay.
The data is not shared like on CSI, where everyone's got access to everything.
Yeah, but I think it's quite interesting for couples just to take note. Like you say, don't leave that till the last. Rather do those sort of things, 2 months or a month before the wedding. Get it out of the way. Get the paperwork to your officiant, and then you can relax. You don't have to run around, because we've had couples.
Yeah.
Can't remember where it was. Where the previous day, the day before the wedding, they forgot. They had to go to Home Affairs, and they spent half of their morning there in a queue the day before the wedding to do their verifications.
I think the guy was working overseas and his stuff wasn't right,
but in any case, I mean,
I had to sort it out the day before the wedding.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think it's
also
pleasant.
Something that they didn't think about.
Yeah.
That they thought that they could leave last minute.
Yeah.
It's a very important podcast.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people. I love it when I learn something. I think there's a lot of people that didn't know it, that didn't know about all the paperwork that has to be done beforehand.
Yeah.
You think it's only with lawyers that you do that you have to do the agreements and the.
But that's a document that comes to you. I mean, or is it not? die huweliksvoorwaarde contract, what do you call it in English?
I just get a certificate from
Okay.
the lawyer to say
Okay.
that they have been
Prenatal-
to see him.
But I just thought that's the only paperwork that you have to do. I didn't realize
think
how many
25 or
things.
26 years ago, that probably was, because
And
we
it-
never
our
had to.
uncle, my uncle
Yeah.
married us.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
sorted out everything. I mean, he did all the paperwork. He never came to me and said, I did this, I did that.
But I think it was simpler back
Yeah,
then.
I think what's important for them to know too is that if you are doing a contract, it needs to have been signed by the notary before the wedding date.
Okay.
If it's signed after the wedding date, then the wedding registration precedes the marriage contract.
Okay.
So then it's a whole, then it costs you 40,000 rand to get it registered.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a totally
So
different.
so if there is going to be a contract, get it done before the wedding date. And then perhaps something else that I wanted to mention, if I can remember what it was, divorces. Many people think today that when you get divorced, everything happens automatically, and it doesn't happen that way anymore.
Okay.
Justice don't submit the divorces to Home Affairs.
You have to do it
So
yourself.
the couple, whoever is the divorcee, needs to make sure that their marriage is registered on the system. Not their marriage,
Their
The
their
divorce is
The divorce is
yeah.
registered on the system.
Okay.
I mean, I've had people a couple, he was divorced 12 years prior to the new marriage.
Good.
And when I got to Home Affairs, I said, sorry, he's not
still
married.
divorced, still married.
Never registered, never took
You
it.
know, then it takes 3 months to get that through the system. But fortunately, Home Affairs, UTNAG have now been given the authority to do divorces, so they can process them and I can have them done in a day.
Okay.
So get your divorce on the system. So
Okay.
It doesn't happen that when you arrive, when I get to Home Affairs, that is part of what the verification also gets clear.
Yeah.
Because if they go for their verification and they show as divorced, then Home Affairs will say, well, we have to process your divorce. So as soon as your divorce is through, get the decree, take the decree and a copy of your ID to Home Affairs to process your divorce on the system.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure it's done so that when it
That's
when it
right.
comes to your, so it's almost as soon as you get engaged, just go make sure that if you were previously
You're
married,
really
married,
divorced.
that
That's
you
right.
are married, divorced on the system. Yeah, we have to keep track now of divorced, married, divorced.
Make
Yeah.
sure you're single.
Yes,
In
the eyes of the law.
In the eyes of the law.
yeah, you're single so that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can get married.
That it's
Yeah.
really
That's right,
legal. Do you know of any? What is the sentence that you always say?
Any legal reason why you
Yeah.
cannot
Or
be
may
married?
not be married.
Yeah.
Never put in the divorce.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, I think it's been interesting because it's a lot of things that you don't think about. I mean, you hear every wedding, we hear that, we hear the questions, we hear what get asked, you see the thumbs and a little bit of paperwork afterwards, but you don't realize the process that's involved
Yeah.
around it.
That's
For
right.
sure.
So I think a lot of people also then, I want to say to some extent, undervalue the service that is
Yes.
actually offered by the officiant because it's much more than just what happens there. There's a whole
That's
lead
right.
up to it,
Yeah.
and afterwards registering all of it and making sure that your marriage is now,
That's
official.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we always talk about being photographers. We talk about the work is not even half of it is done after we've shot the wedding,
I
but
think
we also didn't realize that what happens beforehand and afterwards. So that is very important. We also just see an officiant as being there and giving the ceremony, and it is so much more. So thank you
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much for showing us that way.
yeah.
No, my privilege.
Then from your side, is there anything else you would like to share? I mean, we've already spoken about the expo. We know we're going to see you at the next expo. Just anything else you'd like to share with couples?
I think just like I've said before, be prepared. You know what? And don't leave it to the last minute.
Yeah.
There is, like we've heard, there is a lot of work to be done before the time, particularly with the celebrant or the officiant. And so, it just eliminates all kinds of stress if it's done before
Yeah.
the time and in good time, which obviously people sometimes don't realize. But there is work to do for the officiant, particularly before the wedding happens. So don't pur.
Okay.
And I think that can be much more almost general advice, because we hear often that so many of the couples leave a few of those last things for the day before the wedding, because they've taken leave for the first day and the Friday, and they think they're going to do all these 20 things quickly, and then they realize they get stuck at home affairs. And
No, they can't.
It's
They
not
go.
possible.
Yeah.
No, they go
It's
to home
not
affairs and have
possible.
offline.
Yeah.
What do you do
But yeah,
then?
no, that's
We live
yeah.
in
Yeah.
South Africa.
Yeah. Come back
So-
tomorrow.
You have to
And then
plan for the unforeseen, for power outages,
That's
for
right.
roads closure, for
fuel
you say
shortages.
well, some current things that's really happening
Yeah,
now.
that's right.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you say, do your planning in way in
Yeah.
advance. Then you beplanning voorkom spanning.
If there's time, if there's not time, then do it as soon as you can.
Yeah.
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 But
Yeah.
if you have to get married within a week, then get all the legal stuff done before the time,
Yeah, quickly.
before you run out of hours.
Out of time.
Well, Wim, thank you very much for coming through. Thank you
No,
for
thank
chatting.
you.
I think you shared some incredibly valuable information. If people want to get hold of you, where do they get hold of you in terms of either a website or how do you prefer?
I was speaking to a couple the other day, and he said to me, you know what, you're all over Google, which is a good thing for me, because he said when he put in, I don't know what he put in, marriage officer, my name was the first one to come up. So obviously
That's
Google.
wonderful.
Okay.
So I have a good ranking on Google,
That is
thankfully.
great.
You know what, if you phone me, I'm going to ask you to send me an email anyway.
Okay.
So I'm on Facebook. Weddings Without Boundaries is the page, and it has all the contact information on there. So it's either by WhatsApp or by email, preferably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you need some information from
Yeah.
people. It's just easier to get all
And
of
your
that.
email address?
Email address is Anton, ANTONNEL @live.co.za.
And we'll put it.
We'll put it in the
under,
description
as
well,
in the
yeah.
description
And,
line.
and then WhatsApp 072-321-3920.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you very
Have
much.
a fabulous day further, and
Thank you.
we hope to see you at a wedding very, very soon.
So do I.
When is our next wedding?
In 2 weeks' time.
Is it?
2 weeks time.
Is it Mrs.
Where I do begins to bloom, from first yes to forever. This is the Greater Garden Route Wedding Expo podcast. Your love story starts here.